Folks, you may have heard me talk about my friends at YRefi before. What they do is truly amazing. So, are you struggling with private student loan debt? Is even your minimum payment higher than what you can afford? Maybe you're even in default? Well, you're not alone, and YRefi can help. They refinance private student loans that others won't touch, and they'll give you a custom loan payment based on your ability to pay. They work with each borrower individually to craft a payment that works for them. They can help you reduce your monthly payment and your total costs. You'll get a low fixed interest rate that you couldn't get anywhere else, and you'll be able to see that light at the end of the tunnel. And, important to note, YRefi does not care what your credit score is. Is private student loan debt wrecking your life and destroying your dreams? You don't have to live with this stress and worry anymore. Just go to YRefi.com, that's YREFY.com, and make sure you tell them that Riley sent you.
Teresa Luke, live from New York. It's a show that always believed in Jose Alvarado. Once he got in the game, started feeling good. Took it right at Wemby. I got you. First hour of First Things First. Power-packed show. Today, Knicks win game one. How impressed were we with Jalen Brunson? How disappointed were we with Victor Wembanyama? Maybe not at all. Maybe he's just 22 years old.
I don't think that's going to be anyone's answer.
Meanwhile, best rivalry in baseball, Red Sox-Yankees this weekend. Alex Rodriguez joins us to discuss.
Friend of the show.
About 20 minutes.
Dear friend of the show. He's been on the show about as much as anybody. Aside from like Greg and Coach, people are on all the time.
Probably. He might have the silver medal for most times on.
He and Alex, or an Alex show. Alex Pillow, Alex Rodriguez, Patrick Mahomes, all 4 or 5 time guests.
And I think we're going to get a nice bonus take from you.
Wow.
Bonus
take from our
A-Rod's
guests.
into the bonus
And
take.
finally, a bit nervous about this. The most motivational segment in all of sports, the Bud List. A little bit of a
I'm always
scramble upstairs.
objective. There will be no ulterior motives in the Bud List.
Oh, that
Okay,
was
good.
I buy that
Nick, no.
entirely.
I'm always
Wilds
objective.
is worried
There's a
about
Nick
his
on there.
intro. Wilds panicked 20 minutes ago.
Really great.
The Postmaster General didn't come today.
Oh,
What am I going to do?
It's going to be bland?
I know.
Okay,
Fresh off
one
NBA
week, I
Finals.
get one hot week, and now it's
Yeah.
just...
We'll see if
He's
You
nervous.
talk about Wemby being exhausted.
Exactly.
feel good about it.
Nail
We
in
start in
the head.
San Antonio. Jalen Brunson injured twice, but then he put a hurting on the Spurs.
Wow.
13 points in the fourth, 30 to lead all scorers. Knicks win by 10, double digits again. 12 wins in a row. Here's Brunson and Mike Brown. Take a listen.
I think we know what we have to do. I think we're a pretty together group. Be able to trust each other and still just continue to fight, have each other's back, and just know that we got to keep chipping away. It's just a credit to the mentality we have as a team.
You know, Jalen, he was the MVP in the second half. He was huge for us. He did what MVP candidates are supposed to do. He carried us home. We put the ball in his hands, and he got it done for us.
How did the Knicks pull this off?
Well, the Knicks played, a great game as far as coming back. I don't consider Nick 14 points in the third quarter. It's a comeback technically, but in today's NBA, I don't think that's huge. But that was, Spurs up 14. I'm going to go micro to macro.
Okay.
They're up 13. They take Wemby out.
Yep.
They score 8 of the first 10 in the third quarter, get up 13, take Wemby out. In 2 minutes, it is amazing seeing these teams. Even in Wemby even said a bad game last night, he still impacts things defensively. You could see once he was taken out.
Oh, yeah.
It is go straight to the rim. Like Mikal Bridges' 11-footer, Karl-Anthony Towns layup and one.
Yes.
Someone else got a drive-in layup. Brunson ended up with a fast break layup. In 2 minutes, they go 11-4. Wemby they get him back in there. He can't stop the run. Now it's a tie game going into the fourth. So that was a factor. The non-Wemby minutes are big for, in this series. Secondly,
And there's going to be a lot of them.
Yeah, well, he's amazing when he one game he'll look tired, and then one day rest. I wouldn't expect him to come out the next game with a burst, but that's kind of what he's done. We'll see if he does it tomorrow. The other thing was Mitch Johnson taking out Dylan Harper. This is in the micro. With 4 minutes left, they're down 4. Harper played well. Most of it was in the first half, 12 points, but he still has 16 points, shot 6 for 10. He puts Vassell in, who wasn't very good last night. And Harper's out for the last 4 minutes. So I think that was big too. And so those are two things in the micro. In the macro, there were two superstars on the court last night. One played like it, Jalen. The other one did not, Wemby. And that really is what it boils down to. Whether he said he was bad, he obviously wasn't great, probably not even good, but he was just mediocre. You know, he obviously shot terribly, 6 for 21. The 26 and 12 rebounds
a little misleading.
is definitely misleading. Like, his rebound, he got 12, but I don't think there were many consequential ones.
Josh Hart got all of those.
Yeah, I mean, he just didn't. He had a few, couple offense, but he was not big on the glass.
Yep.
And offensively, he just settled for the outside stuff. Yeah. His spin moves, he was just little out of control. And so, yeah, I think in a nutshell, that's what it is. Jalen Brunson played like a superstar, particularly down the stretch. Wemby did not, and that was the bulk of the difference.
I think the biggest difference is the Spurs are not yet a great team, and the Knicks are a great team. The Knicks were, from the exact moment Bruce said, down 13. There are 5 starters on the Knicks I have for the last few weeks since I have been. I'm not like I believed in the Knicks a ton going into the year, going into the playoffs, but I have just been, I think, very open to the idea of what they're doing is real. And what they're doing is gelling in a way that I've never seen a team gel to this level from where they were. Not that they were that quickly to this unstoppable juggernaut. And one of the things I've said is they have the best starting 5 in basketball. So let's talk about those 5 guys. Down 13, Karl-Anthony Towns gets them back in that game. He has an and one off an offensive rebound. He has another offensive rebound layup. It was his speech to the team that was some of the best mic'd up sound I've ever heard when he said, because it ended up being prophetic, he was like, guys, the offense will come. We've got to stay in the game defensively. It's just like game 1 in Cleveland. And again, it wasn't just like it, but it was similar in that the offense finally hit a burst, which was starting when they were down 13 points. So Karl-Anthony Towns kept them alive in the game. Then, in the fourth quarter, after doing very little, when the Knicks got their biggest lead until the very end, when they got up 8, it was OG Anunoby scoring 8 straight points for the Knicks, including this right over Victor Wembanyama. Knicks were 2 of 16 with Wemby as the primary defender. That's one of the 2. And the other piece of that 2 of 16 is, of those 14 misses, 5 were offensive rebounded and put back. So when he's out there guarding on the perimeter, they are vulnerable to offensive rebounds. So Cat did his part, OG did his part. And then we have what I think is maybe the sequences of the game. You have Jalen Brunson saving an offensive rebound when they are trailing, because they went up 8 eventually, and then the Spurs surged all the way back. Jalen gets the offensive rebound, finds his teammate, college teammate and pro teammate, Mikal Bridges. Then Jalen hits the 3. And then my favorite moment of the game, because it was so smart by Josh Hart, and Josh Hart had such an awesome game.
He did.
When Wemby does this, so many guys are like, all right, let's see if we get the layup. And how many times have you seen that layup blocked or missed or something happens? And even if he makes it, it's Spurs ball down 6 with a minute left. Josh Hart's like, no, we're going to pull it back out, burn the clock, get the ball to Jalen Brunson, and they burn 20 seconds and win the game.
And that shot's
crazy. Unbelievable. That's
crazy.
All 5 starters, all doing something a little different, all having something to say about it. Mikal Bridges hit 2 clutch free throws after the Brunson corner 3. Josh Hart had one of the most, I think it's never been done before, stat line in playoff or regular season history of 3 points, 15 rebounds. I had it right here before. I apologize. 6 assists, 4 steals, 1 block.
Yep.
And Brunson did what he does, which is remind everyone he is the best clutch player in the league right now. That he is your number 1 draft pick for games tied going into the 4th. Who do you want? And so they pulled it off, in my opinion, by being who they've been for 6 weeks now. which is the ultimate team that everyone has accepted their role and is excelling in that exact role.
And it's the anti-super team. That's what it is. Because Josh Hart, what he just did, is a former superstar or a superstar going to do those things? Like, it's two ways to build a team in the NBA. There's the super team or this, and they obviously have a superstar and another star in Cat. But because role players are critical, and Josh Hart has accepted being benched and everything else, playing, not playing a lot. And last night when he can't hit his shot, only 3 points, he grabs 15 rebounds and, as Nick said, does all these other
and
things.
was plus 22.
Yeah.
And I understand individual game plus minus can be misleading. This game is not. Good. He was such an X factor.
All right, other side of the ball. Box score-wise, Wemby played okay. 26 points, 12 rebounds. Eye test-wise, not so much. 6 turnovers, 2 for 9 from 3, missed 15 shots, only made 6. He's not worried, however. Take a listen.
We've been down in a series before, never in the finals, obviously. But I'm not kicking myself about anything, really. I mean, I'm not worried the slightest.
Okay. Should the Spurs be worried?
Absolutely. Because he has not been the same since the double overtime game. His only huge offensive games are when he hits early threes. He does have an impact defensively, always, obviously. But even that, as evidenced by what I said about when he contests shots, how vulnerable they are on the offensive glass. He rebounded better statistically yesterday, but he has not been the dominant rebounder he was early in the playoffs since Game 2 of the conference finals. And I know he's out of gas. I was texting you about the fact that he's out of gas. And I even said, when I was texting you, I was like, listen, he might have a burst. Because he's a great player and going to be an all-time great player, he can channel, whether it's at the beginning of games, as we've seen him do, or when it looked like, oh, wow, those couple plays, including the one dunk when they took the lead, it's like, oh, maybe they're going to steal it right back. But he has not been conditioned to play night after night, 40-plus minutes of high-level basketball on both ends. That is, I'm not going to call it a failing by the Spurs because they could have never thought they'd be playing 2 months into the playoffs at this point. And they're cautious about his body. He's coming off the blood clots, all of it. But that is not getting fixed in the next 10 days. And that is why, Dust, if we can show the shot charts, Jalen Brunson, who is 6'0", his shot chart looked like an old-school power forward, except for the threes he took. But
well, that's where he lives.
Right, all in the paint.
Yep.
Yeah. And the 7'5" alien's shot chart looked like old school Sam Perkins with the cornrows.
Just everywhere.
And it was he's not going to the basket and he's not posting up, in my opinion, as much as he should because it's exhausting.
He tried to go to the, he couldn't get by Cat.
No,
now maybe that's
and his handle was loose. He had 6 turnovers, 5 of which were trying to drive to the basket. 1 was the offensive foul.
He's also trying to drive from the basket, from the 3-point line, Brew.
He should remember I said, get it at the elbow and then drive.
Yeah.
What's the question, Wild?
Should they be worried?
Oh, here we go.
Worried?
Yes. Brew, do you think
worried?
Yeah. Do you think the Spurs are worried? Should you be worried?
Yeah, as somebody that picked the Spurs and as Spurs fans, should they be worried? No. I'm
really?
not worried.
Oh, shoot.
I'm not worried.
Okay.
You think it's not a misdirection?
I never know.
The only thing that would have worried me, now I picked the Spurs in 7.
Yeah.
So I knew this was going to be a hard-fought series
and
the Knicks are capable of beating them. But the only thing, and I alluded to this yesterday, that would have really worried me was if they had gotten blown away. Because that's what the Knicks been doing to everybody. And I get it, they aren't on the caliber of the Spurs. But that would have been the one thing that would have made me like, oh, man. The Spurs have a lot of things they can do differently. One, we were all surprised they started Wemby on Cat. And he guarded Cat for much of the game. And he guarded him out, like really out on him, as you said, away from the basket. You could either take him a little deeper, make Cat hit the 3. Cat's a good 3-point shooter. He's 0 for 2 from 3 yesterday. Don't let him drive by you because back off of him. Or you put Cat, which I imagine they will put Wemby at least if they don't start him on somebody else, he'll spend a good amount of time on someone else so he can roam. They can get more pick and roll with him lobbing to the basket. Get him, or roll into the basket to get a lob. Get him with the ball at the elbow, as you said. Don't try to drive from 3. Get it from the elbow and drive and be more decisive in your moves. I fully expect, Nick, because I saw it in the last series. Last series, I don't know if it was every other game he looked a bit winded, but every other game he looked fresh.
Sure.
So I expect him to come out fresh. And I think the reason, that quote from him, like, I'm trying to figure out, I'm not a body language expert, any of that. But I'm wondering, like, so in the OKC series, he was very stoic, right? And just demeanor was real serious. And, after wins, even something. Right. In this, last night, I like it. I don't know. It's totally different from what it was last series. He's not the least bit concerned. He's like, we got to do what we made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes.
Confident.
Yeah, he's putting on airs. Now, so you can be confident and be wrong, but he is not flustered in the least bit, and I like that.
So here's my take on it, and it's the reason I kept harping on the emotion after the conference finals. It is not because I think men shouldn't cry. I've cried on this show. It's not because I think you shouldn't celebrate your victories. It's because it signaled to me and same thing that press conference does. I think he truly believed we win that series, we're going to be champions. I think he is still underestimating. I think he thought the tallest mountain to climb, they climbed.
Well, it seems like
and I think that's why he reacted that way. You cannot convince me that Victor Wembanyama was that emotional about feeling like I finally made the finals. He was that, I don't know the guy at all. I'm just reading it. I feel like he was that emotional because his real internal emotions were, oh my God, I'm going to be a champion. Like that's why he reacted. He felt like if we win this, we're going to be champions. Right. And I don't think he has registered yet quite the fight he's in for. And so I don't think it's false confidence.
There's no excuse not to, because the Knicks have now beaten him 3 out of 4 times.
Well, so that's the other thing I was going to say. We're approaching. It was, when it was 5 out of 6 Spurs over Thunder, it was like, hey, maybe they're just better. We're approaching that same level for
matchup.
Bad matchup. Maybe they're just better. And go ahead.
Well, here's the other reason. Like, if you're a Spurs fan, it's not time to worry or panic yet. Now they got to win tomorrow.
They have to win.
It's a must win. It is. They lose tomorrow. I'm not changing my pick. You know that, but
they're in trouble.
They're in deep trouble. But they lost the first game to Minnesota at home.
Yes.
And Ant wasn't even himself yet, right? He was playing part-time, and then he got healthy during the series. They lost that. They're down 3-2 to Oklahoma. Then they win Game 7 in OKC. So they have shown their mettle and that they can bounce back. And, they've had their backs against the wall before. So I don't think it's time to worry yet. Like I said, if they had gotten blown away like Cleveland was or who was it? I can't remember the second round. The Sixers. Yeah. But no, I wouldn't be panicking if I'm the Spurs.
Do you have something?
Yeah, I wanted to show shooting too many threes too far away. This is the classic wins and losses.
Go ahead. Then I have terrible news. Go ahead.
What happened?
Nothing. Just go ahead.
Well, you have terrible news, though.
You do your thing. Then something just occurred to me. Go ahead.
Yeah, if he wins, bro, doesn't take more than 5 threes. But when he loses, taking 7 threes. Not like they need him. He's never, occasionally.
They've needed a few, but.
Layup/dunk rate in wins, 45% of his buckets are layups or dunks. In losses, we're down to 27%. I think he only had 1 dunk last night.
That dunk
and it was a good one. It feels like that would be there. Average shot distance in wins, 11 feet. In losses, 14 feet. Again, it relates to 3 points, but
and then your 26 point stat.
Well, that's what I was about to say. That's terrible news.
27 or more.
No, it didn't. It was if he hits 26. Caveman stats dead.
Was it 26?
He hit 26 last night. That's what I was going to say. Caveman stats dead.
That was a Western Conference Finals stat.
Oh, okay. Before we get to Alex Rodriguez, here is the other reason I think the Spurs should be worried. from down 13 to up 8 was exactly 12 game minutes.
Yeah.
Here's what the Knicks did in those 12 game minutes. They scored 40. From 5:45 in the third to 5:45 in the fourth. They turned the ball over just one time. You're right, Brew. That they had been doing basically that throughout entire games to their previous opponents. But once they got their feet underneath them and got rolling, and I understand Wemby was out for part of that, not a ton of it.
Not a ton of that.
No.
But do you feel like he cut his rest short? Like he popped up and something
he only had
happened.
2 minutes. He got him back in there.
The thing is this. How much longer was he going to rest? He played less than 38 minutes. Yeah. They
may have to look at his rotation too.
Correct.
You know, when I saw Brunson's on the bench,
they've got to match his minutes with Brunson, which you never see happen. But he needs to be on the court when.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, he's going to go out and then Brunson's going to come in.
Correct. At the start of the fourth, it was nervous time for them because he was on the court and Brunson was resting.
Positive stat before we get to A-Rod. The last 3 teams from Sean Grande, friend of the show.
Not for the Knicks. Does it sound like what you're about to say?
Positive for the Spurs. The last 3 teams to win Game 1 of the finals on the road all lost the series.
Wow.
Oh my.
Indiana,
Boston, and San Antonio. Yeah. Switching over to baseball, Red Sox-Yankees set for a 3-game stint in the Bronx. Saturday night's game has a special broadcasting lineup on Fox. Kevin Burkhardt, Derek Jeter, Big Papi, and our next guest, the great friend of the show, Alex Rodriguez. Alex, thank you as always for joining us. Before we get to baseball, Brew wanted to ping you on some basketball takes.
Look, I know, Alex, you want to talk hoop, so I'm going to oblige you. So the Spurs obviously beat your Timberwolves. It was a tough series, 6-game series. Wolves showed a lot of heart. Were you surprised last night at how the Knicks handled the Spurs?
Well, no, because the Knicks have been so hot, and they've had a long time to prep. And they've watched us, we lost in 6. OKC was beat in 7. So they've had a good runway here to prep for the big guy. The other part to think about is the Knicks, they're the hottest and most rested team on the planet, right? While the Spurs, they're young, they're getting battle tested, but they have to be exhausted. And I thought Wemby's legs, Nick, I think you're right. I saw Wemby a little bit tired, but one thing this team does very well is they adjust and they'll come back very strong tomorrow night.
Yeah, one of our baseball and NBA correspondent,
yeah.
Alex Rodriguez. All right, so we'll get into the nitty gritty of the game and maybe even some trade deadline stuff. But I want to talk about the broadcast. What do you expect for your first game in the booth with Jeter and Big Papi and Kevin Burkhardt? Guys, you've done a ton of great stuff with, but now being on the call, what's your prep been like, and what do you think it's going to be like?
Well, I'm really excited. I mean, first of all, I watch Yankee games and Red Sox games all the time. So it's just a little bit of continuation of what I already do. But I don't remember a time, fellas, that there's been 4 people in a booth. Plus, we have Ken Rosenthal, who's great on the sidelines. But I think the history of the Yankees, Red Sox is obviously second to none. But then to have the history that we combine between, the captain, Derek Jeter, Big Papi, and myself, it's something that we're going to share a lot of great stories. We have a bunch of cool surprises, and I will tune in because it's going to be an awesome night.
All right. I'm sorry to hear you watch so much Red Sox because I do too, and it's been a painful experience, Alex. This year has really gone sideways. Alex Cora's gone, which I think that was a terrible decision. But also, the Red Sox just cannot hit the ball. Roman Anthony's out, but he wasn't hitting the ball before he got hurt. 24th in runs, slugging is 23rd. We only have 45 home runs. It's 29th in the league. This series is in the Bronx. At home, there's some stats that date back to the dead ball era. They're so bad. What do you make of this team-wide hitting slump, and can they hit their way out of it?
Well, I think before, Kevin, you go into the team, you got to look upstairs a little bit, right? And what is the direction of this team? Where are they and where they're going, right? This is a team that has 4 titles over the last 20 years. So this is title town. They're used to titles with the Celtics, with the Patriots, with their hockey team. And when you have Alex Cora and Jason Varitek and company leave out the back door by getting fired, first of all, Alex Cora, I believe, is the best manager in the game. Between them, they have, I think, 6 or 7 titles, meaning Varitek and Cora.
Yeah.
And the question is, when things are going awry and things are not going well, you have to have people to go to. We had Reggie Jackson in New York. We had Greg Nettles. We had, White. We had Lee Mazzilli. These things are important because you especially need these guys when things are not going well. So the question I have when things are not going well, like they are currently in Boston, who do they lean to? So that's my biggest concern there.
The broadcast. Literally the broadcast. It's going to be you and Poppy up there trying to, listening to advice. Yeah. We're in a bad spot.
Alex, I want to ask you about Aaron Judge. As well as anybody, being a great individual player in New York, getting all the accolades, but without a World Series, the pressure that is on you to win in New York. I know he's dealing with a bone bruise, but he may win his 4th MVP this year. If he doesn't win a World Series, how is he remembered in New York? And what do you think the pressure is like on him to get it done in a Yankee uniform?
I don't think they'll admit the pressure, Chris, but the pressure is huge. And I can tell you from personal experience that guys like you would ask me and I would downplay it. Yeah. But in New York, it's all about winning championships. Obviously, the New York Yankees, synonymous with the 27 World Championship. And I think that's the biggest pressure this team has and is looming over this franchise like a dark cloud. Because starting next spring training, the best player in the game, Aaron Judge, is going to be 35 years old. And you have to win now. And I think Brian Cashman, who's done a nice job putting this team together, will have a lot of pressure to figure out, can they get the bullpen a little bit better? And now if Judge and Stanton, when they're out of the lineup, they become very, very exposed to left-handed pitching. So that's something to watch as well.
My longtime friend and someone I'm sure you know, Jeff Passan, wrote a great trade deadline column today talking about all 30 teams. And for every buyer, he wrote person they should be targeting. He wrote Skubal, and then in parentheses, someone else. But every single team that might be a buyer, he put Skubal. The Yankees are the one team that could be buyers that Skubal would almost, you of course would love to have the 2-time Cy Young winner, but that's not their position of need, so to speak. When you talk about Cashman improving the team at the deadline, do you think they kick the tires on what it would take to get another ace, even with Cole back and those things, or would he be better served putting his resources elsewhere?
I'm a contrarian, Nick, so don't get upset. I would stay away from Skubal. I think he's one of the best pitchers, if not the best pitcher in the game. But if you think about the Yankees, they have probably the best starting rotation when healthy since we won in 2009. What I would think about, I'm going to go the other way on you, is I like a guy like Jeremy Pena, the shortstop. Went to University of Maine, who's a world champion, a Gold Glove winner, and an A-plus individual, character just like Aaron Judge. Only 27, 28 years old. That's exactly what I think what I would do if I was the Yankees. And then I would look at Hader, the left-handed relief guy. And those are kind of the two moves I would think about.
I'm going to throw up the AL East standings here, Alex. Rays are in first. Yankees are only, I think, a game behind. Red Sox are 10.5 games back. Optimistically, glass half full. Hey, I think the next 6 games are against the Yankees and the Rays. So we get hot, all of a sudden we're right back in it. It's before the All-Star break, feeling okay. Glass half empty. If this goes sideways, do we start to get a little let go of the rope? The team starts to just get up. Sellers. Well, the Chapman thing, I don't even want to get into. I don't want to be sellers. But at what point do you think this Red Sox team starts to come apart if this next series goes bad?
Well, I'll tell you, I don't think anybody's out of it because the American League stinks. And it's been bad for a long time. I mean, they really do. National League is opposite, right? But if you look at the West, I think the Yankees are 2 games under 500. And if the playoffs ended today, the Mariners are in. Yeah. So I would use a different measuring stick. I think the minute that you got rid of Alex Cora, the manager, again, I think he's the best manager in the game, and Jason Varitek, they've decided that this year is not going to be their year.
Oh, gee whiz. You know what I took away from
one of the worst interviews we've ever had.
No, he's great. But you know
one
what?
Of the worst interviews
can I just say something real quick? I understand A-Rod's on the Yankees-Red Sox call, so we asked some Red Sox questions. But everything you were saying about, they're 10 games out, but are they dead yet? You know who that also applied to? My old Kansas City Royals. Just don't let Bobby Witt get hot. They said the AL stinks. Like, he's just a five-game winning streak away from being right in it.
Alex, thank you so much. On the call on Saturday.
It's going to be awesome.
Red
Right
Sox
after the Belmont.
Right after the Belmont.
Yes.
The Power Pack Day on
great.
Fox as we lead up to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Tons of sports. Alex, thank you very much.
Thanks, Alex.
You got it, guys.
More first things first after the break.
Nearly home. Isn't home where we all want to be? Reba here for Realtor.com, the pros' #1 most trusted app. If you're hearing me, I'm going to assume you're awake. And if you aren't, because while you're snoozing, someone else might be finding your dream home. That's where Realtor.com comes in. With over 500,000 new real listings straight from the pros every month, that's a lot of chances to find the place you've been dreaming of. Whether you're searching for a 2-story mid-century with a pool or a little extra space with a spa-inspired bathroom, Realtor.com can help you find it today. So quit hitting that snooze button. Realtor.com isn't sleeping on finding your dream home, and neither should you. Download the Realtor.com app today, 'cause you're nearly home. Make it real with Realtor.com.
Pros #1 most trusted app based on August 2024 proprietary survey. Over 500,000 new listings every month based on average new for sale and rental listings. February 2024 through January 2025.
Only 7 days until the World Cup starts on Fox and FS1. We are moving to 10 a.m., so we'll be on from 10 to 12 in 7 days. So you can watch the show and watch all the games from June 11th to July 15th. It's going to be excellent.
Everything's going to be great except for the morning meeting where Wilds will be extra grouchy.
You don't know that.
Early.
What do you mean?
I'm actually a morning person.
You're just not a midday person.
Correct.
Got it.
Correct.
Yeah, and I just won't go to sleep. I'll just stay
Stay
up
up.
through.
Oh, yeah.
You're on your way home.
On my way home
Call.
from the card game in the morning call. It'll be perfect, just like old times.
Heading back to the NBA. Cat had 18 points, 12 rebounds. Also bottled up Wemby. When Wemby was defended by Cat, he went 2 for 11.
This is crazy.
Only had 1 assist and 5 turnovers. Were you stunned that Cat outplayed Wemby? A little bit of an editorialization by us.
Yeah, look, Cat was phenomenal. I mean, if you get that from Cat every night, you're happy. And I know Wemby wasn't good. I'm not sure Cat outplayed him.
Okay, that's what I was.
What's expected of Cat is a lot less, even though he's a star. If Wemby goes 18 and 12, which is what Cat did, on less than 50% shooting with 1 block, that's viewed as like kind of a bad game. And I agree with you, Nick, the 26 and 12 is way misleading. Yeah. But Wemby defensively, you mentioned it earlier, the Knicks were 2 for 16 against Wemby as well. We talked about how you could just see it. When he's in there, the Knicks are not going to the rim for the most part. As soon as he gets out, they're like starving dogs, and they just go to the rim. So that he was effective in that regard, because the Knicks have been scoring, 125, 130 a game. They only get 105 last night. And then in the fourth quarter, and again, I'm not trying to diminish how good Cat was, but again, it's expectations. In the fourth quarter, Wemby had 11 points and 7 rebounds. Cat was scoreless. The pivotal quarter of the game, and Cat does not score a point. He had 2 rebounds, no points, and Wemby's 11 and 7. And so I'm not trying to say Wemby played well. Cat did his job way better than Wemby.
Yeah.
But his job's
It's
not
different.
as
It's
not as much expected.
So, and I think the only reason the fourth quarter had an opportunity to be a pivotal quarter was because of what Cat did in the third.
Fair, that's fair.
And when Brunson still didn't have it going, when OG didn't, really only Cat had it going at that point and kept him in the game. Some with Wemby off the court, some with Wemby on the court. You said Cat did his job better than Wemby did his.
Yes.
Cat also did extra jobs in that one of the other surprises, we talked about being surprised that Wemby guarded Cat. I was surprised that Cat guarded Wemby. We talked about how OG was going to potentially be the guy guarding Wemby. And so you saw it's not just, what'd you say, KW, 2 for 11.
Yeah.
And some of them just shots, it almost looked like he was just hoping.
Yeah. Hoping to get fouled.
Hoping to get fouled, hoping maybe to throw it up off the rim. Yeah. Dust, can we run
He's got to eliminate that.
Can we run the rip of the turnovers? Because Cat was, I remember the feeling, again, I'm apples and bowling balls a little bit, of when Kevin Love out on Steph Curry, game 7 of the finals, and it's like you're holding your breath. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how I felt early in the game watching Cat face up against Wemby, but then he just kept winning.
Yep.
And Wemby kept turning the ball over. Yep. He kept it in front of him, and we were so worried about Cat getting in early foul trouble, which was another one of the reasons that I thought he's not going to be guarding Wemby. He guarded Wemby and had 0 fouls in the first half, which was good because he did get, I think, 4 in the relatively quick succession in the second half. I thought Cat was the most important Knick until Brunson took over. Like Brunson, Brunson took over at the end and did Brunson stuff. Yep. But I thought Cat's, the mic'd up thing I referenced, I thought the way he took on the challenge, I may be giving him a little extra credit for what I thought was a really touching post-game interview where he talked about, he was asked on Inside the NBA about basically his nerves. And he said, whether you guys basically believe it or not, he was like, I didn't feel nervous at all. And he thought he felt something from his mom who passed away. And he just said, he was like, I was just really just having so much fun being out there. And the whole thing for a guy who has been much maligned through his career, who even his biggest defenders would say, okay, he's a minus defensive player, but he's such a good offensive player. To have his matchup be the guy who we all just anointed the best player in the world, and at the very least, I think play it into a draw. Every time Cat plays Wemby to a draw, the Knicks will win. Yeah. I am very confident in that. And so I thought
if Wemby goes 2 for 11, Cat wins that matchup.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, I know offensively.
They need more from Wemby, way more than the Knicks need from Cat offensively. So I
2 for 11.
Totally.
My goodness gracious.
Nearly home. Isn't home where we all want to be? Reba here for Realtor.com, the pros' #1 most trusted app. Finding a home is like dating. You're not just looking for a place to live, you're searching for the one. That's where Realtor.com comes in. Like any good matchmaker, they know exactly where to look. With over 500,000 new real listings straight from the pros every month, you could find your perfect match today. Ranch style with a pool, barn dominium with an in-law suite? Realtor.com's got 'em. Modern craftsman with a big yard and a treehouse out back? Realtor.com will have you saying, yep, that's the one. No more swiping. It's time to start finding. Download the Realtor.com app today, 'cause you're nearly home. Make it real with Realtor.com.
Pros #1 most trusted app based on August 2024 proprietary survey. Over 500,000 new listings every month based on average new for sale and rental listings. February 2024 through January 2025.
Jalen Brunson carried.
Come on, bro.
What he did?
Show.
No, I'm not talking about a penalty carry.
I know.
I mean, he carried.
I understand. Do the show, bro.
He did carry, but they all carried.
No, bro.
I'm just telling you, they all carried.
What do you mean?
No, I know you're saying he carried the Knicks. I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Do the show.
13 of his 30 in the fourth quarter, scored 8 in a row. Brunson's field goal percentage this postseason, quarters 1 through 3, 45%. Fourth quarter in overtime, 59%. The difference of 14% is the third biggest increase in the last 30 years. When Caleb...
oh, shut up.
When Caleb does this, I don't love it. When Brunson does it, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, that's a good...
Are you surprised by Brunson's dominant fourth quarter?
No. I would be surprised if he wasn't. He's one 30-point game away from tying Shea for the most over the last 4 years. He, in the playoffs, that is. He already has the NBA record for biggest points per game jump from regular season to playoffs. Now, that's a little misleading because first couple years of his career, he's a bench player, barely playing. So it's a little asterisk on it. But he he does get better in the playoffs, and he gets better in the fourth quarter. And he is, I flirted with it yesterday, and then I decided, you know what? I'm basically just, I have a bias in my head about body type, athleticism, score versus overall production. He's the best American player in the league. He does not have the tools of Jason Tatum. He doesn't have the explosiveness of Anthony Edwards. But I would rather, the Knicks tied the game going into the third quarter, and I was certain they were going to win.
Yes.
And he was playing poorly, and I was certain he was going to be excellent. Now, I could have been wrong. I happen not to be in this. He gives me, when I say American player, I'm obviously leaving out the top 5 guys who, Wemby, Luka, Joker, Shea, and Giannis. With that said, if you were to say, hey, those guys are also included, who do you want in that exact situation? You can have any of those 6 guys, those 5 guys or him, to be on your team going into the fourth quarter of a tied playoff game. He might be my number 1 pick.
Well, if they win this series, the argument is going to be him or Luka. Maybe not some will say who's better. Individually, you just love Luka, what he can do. But who you'd rather have to start a team? Sure. I mean, Jalen Brunson, because of his, and not saying Luka doesn't have character, he's got great character and basketball character. And he's won at every single level, high school, college, a lot. 2 national championships in college, and obviously has a chance to win here in the NBA. His intelligence and footwork is how he does it. So we know
offensive rebounding.
The smallest guy on the court yesterday was the best. And that smallest guy is not the fastest guy on the court.
No.
Not the quickest guy on the court. Not the highest jumping, best vertical on the court. He does it with his brain and with his footwork, which is phenomenal, and his mental toughness.
That shot right there, that left-handed layup, as soon as he went to that, he shoots, it feels like he shoots 100% on that shot. If he gets downhill and he can shoot it from any angle.
And there is something to the fact that 3 that we keep showing, these 2 shots, one of which, not this one, this is part of a comeback or them actually building the lead in the fourth. But after the offensive rebound, the 3 in the corner, there's 2 minutes left in his first career finals game. They're trailing, and he has not. Was that the first 3? That was the first 3 he hit since the opening shot of the game. He had missed 7 threes in a row, and none of us are surprised he made it. And then that shot right there was, or I don't know if that was which one we just showed. He had an impossible shot to ice the game. And in the middle of that, the guy who we all, again, myself included, as anointed the best player in the league, seemed a little worn down and dribbled the ball off his foot.
And nervous.
And so.
You think he was nervous?
I don't think
Wemby was nervous. He had just scored, 2 straight?
No, I don't think Wemby was
nervous. Couple baskets to tie the game. He just dribbled off his foot.
I'll reframe.
Yeah.
I think that Jalen Brunson has a level 0 on anxiety, nerves, this moment's really big.
100%
Level
agree.
0.
Yeah.
Like a fighter pilot. I think Wemby is significantly higher than that. On this moment, on being caught in it, on doing. Jalen's never going to do too much. He's never. I feel like Wemby is figuring out his role.
I certainly think of all the guys in the league that don't have a ring, he is the most comfortable in these moments.
Yeah.
Luka's, I think
Luka's great.
Luka, he can be tied with, Luke, I agree with you. But what you're saying, I agree with 100%. I think, I said kind of as a throwaway line yesterday that I think he's going to average 30 for the series. He didn't shoot well. He didn't play well until the fourth quarter.
He also scored. Kind of hurt.
Well, we haven't even talked about it. He left the game with an injury.
And me, as obviously I picked the Spurs, want them to win. And I'm sure every basketball. But when he went down with the knee, I was like,
Alvarado
please.
time.
No, I was like, please don't let him be hurt. Because I want to see the best in this series. Like every basketball fan, I would imagine. I don't just want the Spurs to win if Brunson's not there. That would ruin the whole series. Yeah, and then his ankle, it looked like for a moment. So the dude is tough physically and mentally.
No, and it was very clear. I was watching the game with my sister, brother-in-law, their kids, who are all, by the way, I got a first-hand experience for young, small children, younger than your kids, my sister's kids, who became diehard Knicks fans these playoffs because they're little kids, who experienced for the first time the Knicks trailing in a game. You would have thought their team was the Harlem Globetrotters. They didn't know how to deal with it. They're like, what do you, like, at first I was like, wait, and I was like, oh, wait, you really haven't seen the Knicks lose since you've been a fan. Yeah. Like, you think they just blow everyone out, everything's easy. But in that moment, I said, when I saw him go to the locker room, I was like, listen, there's nothing to be concerned about. Either your season just ended in the most horrifying way possible, or he'll be back in 5 minutes. Yep. I was like, it's not going to be anything, and he was back in 5 minutes. They kept asking about the injury after the game. He kept saying, I'll be fine. Yep. And I think nobody expects him to be anything but what he is.
Coming up next, the most motivational segment in all of sports, the Bud List.
And a great intro.
A great intro that you won't believe. Live from New York.
Free, both.
It's the show that is.
You were catching the rock.
Exactly. No,
that's wildly different.
I know.
They fly me somewhere.
I mean, that is the way to do it.
Yeah,
fly me somewhere to speak. Look at this guy. Man. I mean, listen, I've always understood how famous Brew is. I maybe underestimated how wealthy. My goodness.
Flying private.
I'm not paying for private flights.
Greg Jennings is here for the most motivational segment in all sports, Bud List. Second hour of First Things First. Today, can anyone stop fourth quarter Brunson? No. One of the best players in the world when it comes down to that, if not the best.
No, he's the best clutch player in the league. He is.
You're really selling your Luka stock recently. I might buy.
No,
I'm with Nick on.
No, I love this. I don't look at Brunson as in competition.
Luka?
No. I'm saying it's a clutch player. Last few minutes of the game. Yeah, I'd rather have.
He's earned that.
But Nick, don't think that's not gonna become a conversation.
There's a lot of conversations that I think are dumb. I'm just giving my take.
All I know is
giving my take.
One guy might have some jewelry.
That's fine.
My goodness.
Someone might have a
Meanwhile, Russell Wilson announces his retirement. Is he headed to Canton? We discuss. Also headed to CBS. Going to be on the football show. But right now, it's time for the most motivational segment in all sports. Also a time where we read some viewer mail.
Yeah, we do.
A bit of a gamble here.
Ad lib.
No, it's something written. What's
an ad lib?
I'm just trying something. I'm a gambler too.
I know.
Here we go. Dear Wilds, love the show. Does Brew have any advice after I have a rough day or a rough performance at school? Thanks, Ryan and Brian. Is there anything I should do mentally with my thoughts or the performance? Thanks, Ryan and Brian. Brew, do you have any advice?
For how old are they?
Ryan and Brian?
Yeah.
They range. Sometimes it feels like they're 8-year-old kids. There's other times where it feels like they're grown men.
Yeah, sometimes
I think
grown kids
men,
of their own.
Yeah.
I have different, pray, go by yourself, get some time alone, read the Bible. If you're a kid, go outside and play with your friends.
Any thoughts on just taking the day and just the performance and just throwing it in the trash was the gamble.
What?
Throwing it in the trash.
What is this? Why?
It's small.
It's swing and a miss.
Yes.
Sign out for the Bud List.
I gave you a great idea.
That was a real swing miss.
What you thought he was gonna say?
Can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs, okay? They don't always work.
If people weren't watching last year, you're really going to try to sell this small prop bit?
Yeah, because they might not know what you're talking about.
Didn't work. Your idea wasn't going to work either.
That was Wemby. That was Wemby dribbling off his foot.
Me?
Yeah, that's what that was. I'm sorry. Wow. It's just the truth.
Whiff. Not good.
All right, at number 3, we just talked about him, Jalen Brunson. This is pure motivation and inspiration because Jalen, even though I picked the Spurs, Jalen inspired me last night. One, from coming back from to potential injuries and being the star of the game.
It's a blunder.
But also by this. This video just captivated me. This is after the game. He just is a hero. Mm-hmm. And look at the face. That is the embodiment of mental toughness. Ah. No smiling, he is all about game 2 and winning this championship. So that's inspired me. So I just wanted to inspire Jalen a little bit more because, Nick, it's all out in front of him.
Yeah.
All out. Now, we've talked a little bit about, I think if he leads them to the championship, I do think, this is mythical or whatever, but he's the greatest Knick ever.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I do think he's a certain Hall of Famer.
Yep.
You've said it, and I think that's certainly on the table, that he would be the greatest American player right now.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. He would be a definite for Team USA
yes.
in 2028, and maybe a captain. He's a winner. So you want maybe a captain. Here's one, y'all, I don't think you guys have thought about. His now he's never really been viewed as an MVP candidate. Even if he's 6th or 4th. He's never really, you know what I mean? Right. Not really in that. He now will be. Even if they don't win it, I think next year, I've said Wemby, I think, will be the MVP favorite, which he probably will going into the season. But maybe if they win it, it might be Jalen. Or he could be second.
He certainly will have the best odds of any of the American players.
Yes.
Luke will have great odds. Wemby will have great odds. Shea and Joker will always have great odds.
He now enters that stratosphere where, okay, he's a serious consideration to win MVP, not to mention first team All-NBA. Yep. So that's all out in front of you, Jalen. Everything changes for you if you go ahead and win this. Now, look, I picked the Spurs, but I do believe in you. All right, at number 2, your counterpart, De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, we haven't talked a lot about him.
Now, we talked about how clutch Jalen has been. De'Aaron Fox was the winner of the first Clutch Player of the Year award. I think it was 2022-23, but a few years ago. And yesterday he struggled. I give him credit. I don't know where the ankle is at this point, but he's playing through it. He's probably not 100%. But look, De'Aaron knows, we all know, if you're out there on the court, hey, you got to produce no matter how banged up you are. So you don't get any freebies for that. But last night, 7 points, 5 assists, 3 turnovers. He's not a big turnover guy either. And 3 for 13 shooting. So De'Aaron, you obviously have to play better. Your counterpart, Brunson, is going berserk. And you have to kind of like Cat to Wemby. You might not outplay him, but you have to really be close and play you at the top of your game as well. Here's the other thing, and I'm not saying at all that the Spurs are gonna move him or looking to move him or anything like that. But they're 3 young guys at some point within the next few years are going to start getting big contracts. Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, and Dylan Harper. So they probably will at some point look to move on. So you never know how long you're gonna be there, D Fox. So go ahead and make the most of this chance to get your championship ring. I picked the Spurs, so yes, I believe in you, De'Aaron. All right, at number 1, Wemby. Now, we all have said, really this whole season and certainly this whole postseason, that no real pressures on Wemby and the Spurs because they're so young and they're so far ahead of schedule. No one would have killed them had they lost to even Minnesota in the second round. Minnesota's a 2-time Western Conference finalist the previous 2 years. No one certainly would have killed them for losing to OKC without home court advantage. They were, even despite you being 7'5", Wemby, you have been David. And OKC was Goliath. That's all changed now.
Correct.
Now you are Goliath, and no pun intended, not because of your size. You are supposed to win this series. You literally were the favorite entering the series. You have had home court advantage, and the other player, the best player on the other team, is 6 feet tall, 6'1", 6'2". And so now you are expected to win this. It's nothing you can't come back from, obviously, if you don't win it. But you are now in the position of Goliath, which does bring more pressure for you to get it done. So I can't read your demeanor. Last series against OKC, it was very stoic and serious. After yesterday's game, you were fine, nothing to worry about. I'm not worried in the least bit, you said, which I like. But there is pressure on you to get it done. You know I believe in you. That is the Bud.
Always a good Bud list.
Great job.
Always excellent.
I'm not.
It's a rough intro, but you turned it around.
I appreciate you trying, man. You could have came out here and handed it to me. The Bud list.
I'll be honest with you. As far as motivation goes, I need the other way.
You need the stick,
not the carrot?
Yeah, I need
it was step
your game up, or Parkins will be here.
I was disappointed. I'm not lying.
No, that's what I need.
Okay.
You normally land that, no problem.
Not today.
It's all good.
Listen, you're gonna practice how you want to play. It was 240, and you walked down the hallway.
Your idea wasn't going to work either.
That's fine.
Wasn't.
But you know what you shouldn't be
part
doing?
Of the,
you know what you shouldn't be doing at 240? Panicked because you have nothing prepared.
Wasn't good. Forgot about it.
That's how we end up with
that's what you
tiny
came up with.
Time for Greg's.
Well, I got something prepared. I'm gonna switch gears a little bit.
Greg.
Go to the gridiron. A couple big trades. We all know about them. One out west, and obviously one here over on the East Coast. A.J. Brown, though. Ooh, putting you on the Bud list, buddy.
Raw motivation.
I believe in him. I'm going to start right there. I believe in him. Wilds, I was doing some research, and I found some things that were very intriguing to me. But A.J. Brown, obviously coming over with tremendous amount of expectations. Anytime a team gives up, a fifth-round, first-round pick and all the things, and you were a really good team, they clearly have expectations that you are going to be special. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking man, this team was already really good offensively, quarterback's really great, they had great productivity, even in the passing game. Stephon Diggs comes over, he's a top 5 receiver in your world only, but he produced.
That's right.
And I was like, man, why is everybody, and don't get me wrong, A.J. Brown, phenomenal receiver, but why is everybody, specifically Wilds, he's out here in America and he's actually running routes on the platform right before I got up here, just giving me little releases. I'm like, why are they so excited? And then I started looking at the numbers, Nick, and I was like, wow. A.J. Brown just be as advertised, because the New England Patriots just simply haven't had a guy like you.
No Pro Bowl receiver since 2012.
Since Wes Welker.
Mm-hmm. I believe that.
Look at this, receiver yards per season.
He really shined in the playoffs.
Yeah, receiving yards per season. This is A.J. Brown on the left for his career.
Average.
Yeah. On average. And this is the Patriots since 2019. Their top receiver, whoever that may be, they're average. And so when you look at A.J. Brown and the down year that he had even last year, why does someone like yourself have great expectations? Even what he did last year is so much better than what you've been getting. And even if I'm A.J. Brown, I'm coming with my own expectations, because I'm not going to say this if I'm A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
But you don't have to say it. I'll say it for you. You have a better quarterback.
Wow.
I don't think there's any surprise there. There may be pushback, but you just simply have a better quarterback. There was simply frustration because there's ways to look at a player and their impact, and it's not just catching the ball. AJ, I understand this. It's about when I'm in that meeting room, do I feel like I'm a part of the game plan? Are you scheming me up? You are going into a situation where you know you're going to get schemed up. You know the quarterback can get you the ball. And by the way, you're going to be excited to just be somewhere new. So A.J. Brown, just simply be as advertised. One last note I will say.
Greg is getting on the Patriots.
I am. We talk about the quarterback in the AFC, and man, they got all the quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. But when I look at the receiver position,
they don't have the
receivers.
Cincinnati, and that's
it's Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
And then you go down and you're trying to search who's the next receiver. A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait till we run our best receiver QB combos, best duos in the NFL.
Well, they'll
wait
be
till
up
that
there.
comes out.
They'll be up there.
We run. That's not like an annual thing.
I've got it cooking.
Wait till we run. Yes, we do. Wait until you.
Wait
till your new. What was the thing? What was the new bit you had?
Ronnie Realism.
Ronnie Realism?
No, the franchise.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that.
I'm gonna watch that.
Oh yeah.
People love that. Yeah. I'm gonna watch that. Coming up, a segment about best QB number 1 wide receiver duos. I'm gonna watch that. Next episode, I'm gonna watch that. You're gonna have to watch this. It's time for the Sports Media Ombudsman. People like it.
I know. Going positive today.
You always.
Not always. Sometimes, I have to ombud
Constructive.
with a, a sharp finger.
Sure.
I've said this many times, I'll say it again. One of the best compliments this show ever receives is when people say it reminds them of Inside the NBA. Because that show is an iconic show. That show has, I think, a 6-time Emmy-winning host. KW, I assume, will be that one day soon as well.
Nope.
And
not with the performance of the old crap.
And it's just been on forever, and it's great, and the chemistry. I've said that many times. With that said, I have, this year in particular, that show has been the subject of some Sports Media Ombudsman criticism. Mm-hmm. Last night, after Game 1 of the Finals, was a reminder of how great that show still can be. And the reason, to me, it was so great was because last night, all the guys cared so much about the game. They were invested in the game, they were locked into the game, and then after the game, we got some real vintage inside the NBA where Barkley or Chuck or Shaq is saying what Wemby needs to do, and Chuck is telling him, "Hey man, everybody ain't you, Shaq. Everybody doesn't have the dog that you had." And it really was an interesting look. Oh wow, is Chuck saying there's a question about not Wemby's killer instinct or something like that, and Shaq pushing back? Karl-Anthony Towns had a great interview that Ernie quarterbacked all of it. And I know they've changed networks, and Draymond's been a part of it, not a part of it. He's going to be a part of it next week as well. That's been controversial in this show and in other places. That show still has an important place in the sports media landscape. It's a legendary show with legendary guys. And when they are dialed and they care, I don't think there's anything better in the business. And it was appointment television my whole adult life. And watching it last night reminded me of all that. And so I loved it. I'm excited to see them at the finals the rest of the way.
Wow,
so
that was very positive.
That was nice.
Yeah.
That was great.
It's earnest.
I agree with it.
And they haven't been able to be at a finals before.
Right.
Because they didn't have it, so it's exciting.
I don't know if you watched the show earlier, but I was using a lot of cool terms. I was saying spamming.
Yeah.
Spamming the spin move.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson carried and Wemby sold on the turnover. It's part of internet parlance. Mm-hmm. Which proves that even I can fall victim to internet culture, which was on full display last night, not in the best way, I think.
Yes, please tell me you're going to eviscerate this kid. Just destroy him.
I got a few things.
Thank you.
I think I wrote overall doing too much.
Oh, yeah.
But it was doing too much with a internet culture bend.
Yeah.
Pre-game introductions. You know what I used to like? Just quickly rattle off the starters. Number 23, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. Just get through it. And then the big explosion. That's not what the Spurs did, because you can't just do that anymore. You got to be the main character. Internet parlance. So here's the headline of what happened. San Antonio Spurs, they troll. You got to troll. You have to just be nonstop trolling, okay? If it's not family and friends, they're your ops. They need to be trolled at all times, okay? Can't just do an intro. You got to be the main character. Take a listen.
6'5" guard from Villanova, number 3, Josh Hart. 6'2" guard from Villanova, number 11, Jalen Brunson. 6'6" forward from Villanova, number 25, Mikal Bridges. 6'7" forward from Indiana, number 8, OG Anunoby. And a 7-foot center from Kentucky, number 32, Karl-Anthony Towns.
It's game one of the finals. It's one of the marquee events in American sports. Can we just not troll? Can we just take a trolling respite?
It was odd. I didn't know what was going on.
No, it's troll. You got to be trolling. You got to troll your ops. You got to do it. You got to do it nowadays. Then going to break. I didn't even put this up because I want to be nice. But going to break, Tony Parker sitting there. AI Tony Parker. I look at him like, who is that guy?
Oh, not the real Tony Parker?
It wasn't the real Tony Parker. It was a Tony Parker who was smiling more and waving his finger. Sometimes that works. There's famous TNT commercial with like Derrick Rose and Michael Jordan about legacies connecting. Sometimes it doesn't. When you just have a still photo and you're making something that doesn't exist. You don't need to add to the NBA Finals. But AI, everything's got to have a little AI in it, you know? That's internet. Got to be an AI. And finally, you know what? Kids, pay attention to this. Bad clout's better than no clout at all. Get on to the court. You gotta get on to the court. You gotta be the main character. And don't forget to bring your phone. When I was growing up, just Morgana, the kissing bandit, would get out there, no phone. It's out there kissing guys. That was old school.
Well, people used to.
That's for print media. It turned out Morgana, the kissing bandit.
And run naked.
Well, bro. But now
Wemby was smiling.
You need the clout. Well, he doesn't know what to do.
No, I know.
I'm not even talking about security and everything like that. But it's just this non-stop chase for clout. So between the trolling, the AI, and the clout chasing, I just think we should stop spamming internet culture and just
Can I add a very quick addendum about the end? Because the first two things were kind of sports media ombudsman-y.
I didn't mean to. I didn't.
Listen, maybe I'll do the intro next week and you can just do the ombudsman. Maybe both will be better. But the last point about idiot kids. That kid
he's banned.
And his accomplice are both banned for life from every stadium in the league. I don't care how much you might have bet on Kalshi someone's going to run on the court.
Oh, is that what's going on? I even put in prediction markets.
I don't know if that's what it was. Again, I'm just saying, I don't know or if it was just you got dared by your Instagram followers. I promise you it's not worth it.
Yeah.
I promise you that in 30 years, if God willing somebody has kids with you and your kid wants to go to a basketball game, you're like, tough news. Dad used to be a total moron, ran on the court in the finals. You got to go with your uncle.
Remember the kid that did it with LeBron in Cleveland?
Yeah, but
that was kind of sweet.
I think he was
a little kid, though, wasn't he?
No, he was a teenager.
But he had to sign, come back or something.
I agree with you.
When you bring your phone on.
But it wasn't, it's still dangerous,
whatever. But that was a different thing. This person did it just for, as Wild said, clout. Yeah.
John, you think I got clout off that?
Definitely.
Oh, no?
No, she said no.
Delete it then. I only did it for the clout. Coming up next. Knicks are now favorites to win it all.
Favorites for the first time since the day after the OJ car chase.
World Cup games are coming to Fox and FS1 in 7 days. First things first is moving to 10 a.m. in 7 days. New time slot, some new guests for the World Cup will be excellent.
New segments.
Brand new segments that you never heard of.
No, it's tiers.
Oh, yeah.
But it's World Cup tiers.
Never
heard of it. Plus, hey, I'd watch that.
Hey, I would watch that.
That World Cup edition.
World Cup edition.
Guess what's going to be on it? Every game.
I'll watch that.
There you go.
World Cup preview. In 7 days. Hubs is not satisfied with the way that we are doing this.
What do you mean? What does Hubs want us to do?
What in the world is going on?
Hubs, what do you want us to do? We're telling America to wake up early and watch it.
10 a.m. to noon, June 11th to July 15th. You're now entering the No Bull Zone, sponsored by Credible. You get great rates. You don't have to deal with any of the bull. Bang off the corner of the backboard.
There were some ugly plays by the best player alive last night.
Might have.
He knows it. Look at him shaking his head.
I shouldn't have shot two off the backboard, off the side of the backboard.
It worked for Deuce McBride. He banked one in from the corner,
right?
Which is rarely
a
seen.
Big one too.
Wemby had an inefficient game with some wacky shots. Here he was on getting better by just playing normal.
It's almost not like I have anything to figure out. It's almost like I have to play normal, not even good. I just. It's like just doing the right things is enough.
Reaction to that, bro?
Well, look, he said earlier that he knows he was bad, so it's not like he's denying that he didn't have a good game. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a body language expert. I love the confidence. Now, maybe it's gonna be proved to be wrong. Maybe it's overconfident, but he is not the least bit worried about the Knicks. And I have to admit, against OKC and maybe even Minnesota, I'm trying to remember, but he had a different demeanor. In
Minnesota, he was worried enough he took Naz Reid out.
So I like the fact that he's not worried. I think that makes his teammates, maybe makes the fans who want to root for the Spurs feel better. But I kind of get where, like, he's saying it was all me. And I'd rather that than they locked me up. Not that he said, but I'd rather him feel like, man, I just have to play my normal game, not make the mistakes I made tonight. They weren't doing anything to hinder me. It was all me. I'd rather you have that mindset than if you're thinking in your mind, I can't beat Karl-Anthony Towns. I can't get past him. So we'll see if he proves to be right, but I like his line of thinking.
Wemby we are going to look back on everything that happened from the moment the buzzer sounded against the Thunder in Game 7 to the reaction, the quotes leading into the series, the quotes after Game 1. And we're either going to say Wemby was very prophetic, he was right not to be worried about the Knicks.
Yeah.
He reacted the way he did because he knew that that was going to be their toughest challenge. Yeah. Or we are going to say, what was he thinking? For a lot of the reasons he thought he should be the MVP and thought they were the best team in the league, about them versus the Thunder, apply now to the Knicks versus them. I was at the last game he played against the Knicks in the regular season. He was not good in that game. He was flustered in that game. In this game, he was 6 for 21 with some just awkward, some of the mistakes that we saw, a different game we were at, in his first game ever at Madison Square Garden as a rookie that we all went to together. It was a lot, the analogy people use is like the baby deer, stumbling about. There was a lot of that last night. Yeah. And it's a weird spot when you're considered the best player in the league, but also you're only 22, so it's like you're not quite held to the best player in the league standard of criticism, which I think is fair. But there have been certainly lower leverage mistakes that weren't as cartoonish as that one that guys have been plenty criticized for when they were just in the vicinity of best player in the league. And I don't think Wemby's right. And I think it is a touch insulting to the Knicks for him to say, I don't have to play great for us to win, because I think he's wrong. I think that for the Spurs to win this series, Wemby is going to have to be great a minimum of 4 times. I assume, by the way, one of the games he's great, they won't win. I think that let me put it like this.
They almost win almost every game he's great.
I don't know if that
was my caveman stat.
I think that they can win a game this series where he's not great, is maybe the better way to put it. So it's a minimum of 3 games he's going to have to be great. And if they lose one of the great games, which I think is possible, then he's going to have to be great 4 times. I totally disagree that if Wemby just plays normal, the Spurs are at just such a... What that says is we're at such a talent edge.
Don't you think he means his normal game, which is, I don't know what he meant by not even good. But... don't you think he means I got to play my normal game, which is great?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think that, I don't know why. Now, he did say not even good. I have no idea what that meant.
Jose Alvarado played sparingly, had 2 buckets in the restricted area. Wemby played, 38 minutes?
Yeah.
He had 3. So I think part of it is I need to score closer to the basket. The other reason I would be supremely confident is the Knicks didn't really have an answer on offense when he was out there. On and off the court, this is a Knicks offense graphic. When Wemby was there, 38 minutes on, Knicks shot 37%.
But they lost Wemby's minutes. They were -3 when Wemby was on the court.
They're -3, then that's an offensive problem, right?
Yeah, but he's part of it.
That's what I'm saying. But if he shoots, I just need to have 6 baskets.
Right, but
I don't shoot. He shot 28%. But let me shoot 35%. We win the game.
But this is where, and maybe we can disagree. I think there have only been a couple games a series, which is, now a handful of games over the playoffs, where he has been apex dominant defense and great offensively. I think that it is hard for him to be what he is asked to be defensively and be dominant offensively if his three isn't falling. And even when we talked about the Game 6 when they were facing elimination and they blew out the Thunder, he had, I think, 13 in the first quarter. He hit 3. He came out banging threes, and then he was able to kind of rest, somewhat. And then in Game 7, when his three wasn't falling, he was not that dominant. Mm-hmm. They won the game, and there's a credit to the team. I think he's wrong, and I think that the Knicks are approaching the 2026 New York Knicks have the Spurs number level of wins in a row. It's 3 wins in a row.
Yeah.
And, I don't expect the Knicks to win Game 2. As Bruce said, the Spurs have to win Game 2. But and maybe he's right, but that was not the approach of a guy who felt like, oh my goodness, I face an elimination game in 48 hours. And I think it is. What?
It's not an elimination.
You do believe it's a legitimate must-win?
I don't know.
Has there ever been a team lose their first 2 at home
in playoffs
in the final? No,
not in the final.
Lose your first 2 home finals games and come back?
What? It might have been Portland, Philadelphia. Philadelphia was up 2-0. I don't remember.
The Walton series. He's just really trying to do the Bill Walton trajectory. Yeah, you're right. That was 2-0, and then they came back. I don't know who had it.
Was it 2-2-1-1-1 then?
No, that was 2-3-2. I think, but it was also, but go ahead.
Anyways, the Knicks are now the favorites to win the title. Funky stat here. The winner of Game 1 wins the series 70% of the time, but the last visiting team to win Game 1 and win the championship, 2004, the Pistons, via our friend Sean Grandy. Road teams winning finals Game 1. Pacers won, they lost. Celtics won against the Warriors, they lost. 2013 Spurs won Game 1 and then lost. Pistons won. Your reaction?
2013 was Miami.
Yeah. I think that this is more correct than the I thought going into the series should have been Spurs -130, Knicks +110, which implies about a 55-45 Spurs chance. I thought that because they had the best player and because they had home court, they deserved to be slight favorites, but that I didn't think they were better than the Knicks. The Knicks obviously should be favorites now. I think they should be slightly larger favorites, and Josh showed this to me, teams that knocked off the previous champion.
Yeah, I like this.
That doesn't bode all that well for their chance to actually then become champions themselves. In the last 50 years, it's happened 20 times. Only 4 have then climbed that next mountain. The Thunder did it, or the Spurs did it in the most kind of emotionally dramatic way possible in 7 games in the conference finals. And so, I think the Knicks deserve to be the favorites right now.
Yeah, at this point, and I think that going into the series, Vegas may have felt like, okay, the Knicks have been playing better than anybody. They've been rolling and routing these teams. Yeah. But it's the East. The competition's not as good. Spurs just beat the defending champion. Once you see this Knicks go in there and win Game 1, now they have home court advantage. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, again, I feel confident about the Spurs, but I get why now the Knicks would be the favorites.
We haven't,
and like I said, they beat them 3 out of 4 times this season.
I hope you don't get mad at me revealing this. Someone very close to you has tickets to Game 6. I don't know.
Sure.
Do you think it? We haven't spent any time talking about this.
We've kicked it around.
What? Do you think it's on the board? This ends up a quick series.
Yeah, we've kicked it around.
If
the refund comes back, the windfall comes back to the Wild's family.
Okay, all right. The Wild's wife has taken. Sorry, I didn't know if I was supposed to say it or not.
But no, look, if the Knicks win tomorrow, again, if they win tomorrow, a sweep is on the table.
Holy cow.
I'm not saying it will happen, but it's got to be on the table. If they go into San Antonio and win 2, and then they got the next 2 games in New York. Now, I think it would likely be 3-1, but you got to think it's on the table. New York's going to be going crazy. The Garden's going to be electric.
Josh, are those the only 2 times the only 2 times in finals history the home teams lost the first 2 games? The 93 Suns, they lost in 6, and the 95 Magic, they got swept. You can't go down 0-2 at home in the finals.
Oh, losing 0-2.
There have been other 0-2 situations, but as far as 0-2 at home, you can't go down 0-2.
Calling it a must-win, not calling it an elimination game. That's all.
You should have some respect for what must-win means.
It's a must-win. It's a literal must-win.
It's not a must-win.
Is Russell Wilson going to the Hall of Fame? That's next.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Welcome back to First Things First. Russell Wilson has announced his retirement after a 14-year career, which saw him appear in 2 Super Bowls, win 1, throw for almost 47,000 yards, rush for 5,600, 4th best among quarterbacks, and throw for 353 touchdowns. He released a video on social media. Here's a little snippet.
I thank you, football. I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. I am forever grateful.
Let's play for these fans tonight, man.
Love, 3.
How will you remember Russell Wilson's career?
Listen, I do think because of everything that happened post-Seattle, his Seattle tenure's become a little underrated.
Right.
And him helping rewrite a bit the rules on who can be a franchise quarterback, how big you have to be, the style you have to play. I think all of that was, is a piece of his legacy. The other thing that will always stick out if I ever get in a conversation about Russ or think about it big picture is it's one of the cruel but beautiful things about football is the thinnest margin sport imaginable. One of the debates is he a Hall of Famer and what his legacy is, all those things. He's one play call or one, non-scouted play from Patriots OTAs months before from being a back-to-back champion in his first 3 years, having the greatest start to a career of any quarterback ever, and being minted. And maybe that Seattle team maybe then doesn't tear itself apart, and maybe, they who knows how far they go. They were all young. They were all excellent.
Controversial decision. Controversial take by me.
Yeah.
This was a good play call.
I know. It
was just scouted. They just scouted it.
But whatever. But even there's a lot of ways they call that play, and it's just an incomplete pass. You know what I mean? And they win the Super Bowl in the next play. But that moment, that is the ultimate for a single player and team's future. One play sliding doors moment. And I love that about the NFL. It also seems so wildly unfair because if they win that game, also, the other parts of that is Brady then would have lost 3 straight Super Bowls, hadn't won one in 10 years. Like there's so many things, but that's not what happened.
Yeah, if he had retired after his 10 years in Seattle, I think there's a very good chance he's viewed as a Hall of Famer. Just stepped away from the game.
This worked against him.
He made 9 Pro Bowls in the 10 years. Like you said, won a Super Bowl, got to 2, and turned that franchise around immediately. Like they had not had a winning season in the last 4 years. He starts as a rookie. They win 11 games. Next year they win the Super Bowl. Obviously, these last 4 years sullied his reputation to a bit. So I think the Hall of Fame is interesting, but when I tend to feel like not right now, I feel like he's kind of viewed in the class, maybe a little higher, but like Donovan McNabb with a ring, you know. But if Eli Manning, who a lot of people think is a Hall of Famer, there's no doubt Russell was better than him in the regular season, had a better career, because Russ had a high. Yeah. His individual numbers are high, too. He led the league in passer rating once, in touchdowns once, had a great TD to interception ratio. And he's got a Super Bowl, too. It's not like he doesn't have that. So you compare him to an Eli, I think you look favorably at Russ. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he gets in.
Yeah, good guy quarterback, good teammate. I think for me, when I think about Russ, I just don't feel like he had enough, to your point, post-Seattle. And the reason why,
Fame, you mean?
Yeah, and the reason why I say that is it's not just because of how he performed, it's what happened after he even left. What Bo Nix even had that team looking like. And I think that kind of works against him. But Russ, look, he was a winner.
Yep.
He was simply a winner. Like, I was around for a lot of his glory years, and he won a lot of football games. I think one of the things that he doesn't get a lot of credit, and I'm be honest, I don't give him a lot of credit at times for that early success, because when you thought about that Seattle team, you thought about the Legion of Boom. Right. And they led with that. And it just so happened they found this young quarterback who wasn't even, he had to earn that spot.
Yeah.
Was he a third round?
He had to earn that spot. He won that job, and then he started to perform, to your point, in a different style of what we were used to seeing, and it worked. And he played it to the best of his ability, and it won him a Super Bowl, put that team in position to where that Legion of Boom could lead them to back-to-back Super Bowl appearances, obviously winning the first one. But I never saw him as the guy.
I want to put a final note on this on a personal level. God-fearing man, religious guy. I know personally from a story from my town that Russell Wilson, from a Make-A-Wish event, that Russell Wilson personally went like above and beyond even what is normal for like a Make-A-Wish event. So there's so many, again, internet culture, little like, he was doing high knees on the plane, LOL. No one cares. No one will ever remember that.
Right.
This dude, just Google like Russell Wilson charity.
Right.
You'll see so many pictures. Russ in a hospital. Russ getting like, Russ like leaving a team and still doing stuff with a team event. Him and Sierra, they've done charities. And again, I think, look, the football is here, but I think there's countless stories of him just being a great, great guy.
Yeah.
More First Things First after the break.
Live from New York, it's First Things First overtime. Today, Wemby struggles, but he's not worried. Is Danny Parkins? Meanwhile, updated timeline from Micah Parsons. Greg Jennings is here and weighs in on Micah's possible return. And finally, why the Knicks win is keeping Danny up at night potentially. Story behind this coming up in 10 seconds. Chris Broussard, Kevin Wildes, Nick Wright. Danny with a teddy bear. Danny, can you tell the story of this ongoing internet feud?
No. Whoa.
It's on the verge of a feud.
Listen, Ben Stiller, comedy icon, comedy hero of mine, he criticized me heavily for my
terrible
Knicks takes that are aging like an avocado during the Western Conference Finals. I said I did not think this team could win a title, and as a punishment that I imposed, Ben Stiller, obviously Knicks superfan, I was like, let's do a Ben Stiller-esque punishment if they win the title. I suggested dodgeball. Yeah. Our legal department nixed that idea. Yeah. He starred in a...
I suggested Zoolander.
Yeah.
You get
one look.
Yeah.
Blue Steel. Yeah.
Oh, anyway, my goodness, he wasn't joking.
I quote that all day long. It's a great film. But anyway, Night at the Museum. I will be literally spending a night at the museum in July. We bought the tickets. This is my emotional support animal that I'll be bringing.
He has to
Brunson.
spend a night at the Natural History
Museum, which is where the movie is based off of.
But that's only if the Knicks win the title.
If the Knicks win the title, but I am preparing.
Can I ask you a question before we get
Brunson
to
the Bear?
So you've already given up?
No. Well, hold on. I don't even think we've started the show.
No, we have started the show. This show is totally different than First Things First. This
Okay.
is First Things First overtime.
Got it. Okay,
I
sorry.
thought about like loosening my tie.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Want a bear?
How old are your kids again?
6 and 4.
Okay.
Which one am I the godfather of?
Technically neither.
Damn.
They were born in Chicago.
Yes.
Did you indoctrinate them as Bulls fans? Because it feels this is a very critical time.
Yeah.
And if you're 6 years old and your dad is in a feud with Ben Stiller and all of a sudden you've got Knicks stuffed animals, it feels like you're on the verge of rooting against the Knicks and at the same time raising 2 Knicks fans.
I really don't want to be raising Knicks fans, but the Bulls have given them absolutely nothing.
They're going to be Knicks fans.
Yeah.
Knicks fans.
The 6-year-old's pretty into Wemby, though. He can't believe how
Who's he
tall
pulling
he is.
for?
Well, they both cry.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we're starting the show.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
I forgot about that.
The Knicks have won
I'm
12
longer than
games
I
in a
thought
row.
it was going to.
It's another double-digit win, despite being down 14 at one point. Jalen Brunson had 8 in a row during the comeback. Here he is post-game.
I don't want to say calmness, but I think we know what we have to do. I think we're a pretty together group. Be able to trust each other and still just continue to fight, have each other's back, and just know that we got to keep chipping away. It's just a credit to the mentality we have as a team. But, I mean, we can't just be satisfied with that. We have a long way to go. We have a lot of things we can do to be better. But I'm happy we came with a win.
What impressed you the most about the Knicks' victory?
So the cop-out answer is everything, because winning game 1 on the road in the finals as an underdog is just impressive, and it's a team game. But the truth is, the fact that they won and came back when they were down 14 late, and other than Karl-Anthony Towns, I didn't think they played that well. Like the fact that they could win, what if you were going to grade that game, if you were doing Brew grades the Knicks, was that a B- game? Brunson goes 12 of 31 from the floor. Josh Hart has 3
Josh
points.
Hart was awesome. Josh Hart was awesome.
He was awesome and filled up the stat sheets and the rebounding and all of it, but he's always going to give you high energy and good effort defense. Like
I just think the Spurs has something to do with that, though. I don't think it was I don't think the Spurs played particularly well either. Neither team shot well.
Yeah, but I guess if you win a road game in the finals as an underdog, I expect that you're going to give an A effort to win that game.
Yeah, like someone, oh my goodness, somebody shot 55% from 3.
Right, and I thought Towns was spectacular, even though the box score wasn't great because of how great he was defensively on Wemby and how aggressive he was early when Brunson was bad. So I'm not saying they played poorly, but they clearly have other levels that they can get to. That was not an A game from the Knicks, and they overcame a 14-point late in the third quarter deficit to do it. So that's just impressive.
Yeah, and it's why when yesterday you were so hung up on a lot of the analysis as to why the Knicks weren't going to win the series yesterday was, if you didn't watch the show, was they're playing too well. Actually, the Knicks are playing too well, and because of that, they're going to lose.
I totally disagree with that.
And then I tried to say, hold on, what about this? What if they all regress, like you're saying? So instead of winning by 30, they just win by only 10. And that's what happened. The Knicks shot from the field 42%. From 3, 31%. Yesterday, we were talking about the 2 guys. It was OG and Bridges, was it?
OG and Towns.
And Towns. That were 57-47. That didn't happen. Mm-hmm. They didn't need it. Because the other part of this Knicks spectacular run that's been a little overlooked is defensively, they've been dominant too. They have been this egalitarian, everybody eats offense until the fourth quarter when Brunson takes you home, except for the fourth quarters he's sitting because they're up by 30, and the defense locks down throughout. And there is, what to me was the most impressive was as you mentioned, the down 14. They in an exact to the second 12-minute span, they put up 40 points on the Spurs. And Wemby was on the court for a lot of this. And the Spurs this year, Brew, you know this, even when Wemby was off the court, if Cornette was on the court in the regular season, they were an excellent defense.
Right.
They weren't the Wemby defense, but they were an excellent defense. The Knicks had 54 points midway through the third quarter and had 94 midway through the fourth quarter. Yeah. And then they went cold for a brief stretch, and it looked like the Spurs might steal it. That's the part of the game that would scare me if I were the Spurs. That, oh man, they for a decent stretch of time got everything they wanted. Didn't turn the ball over, hit their shots, and they didn't do it because somebody went like Champagny in the first half, 5 of 6 from 3. That's what would scare me if I were the Spurs.
What impressed me the most was Cat. You know, just the way he was able to. He's a guy that has been, criticized for his defense throughout his career, and he was able to stay in front of Wemby, and did a very good job there. Obviously, he gave him some offense. He gave him some rebounding. If he can, it's all what I say when Chet was facing Wemby. I don't expect you to outplay him. But if you can just play at your top level or close, that's all you need. And then the other guys help out. So I thought Cat was huge. I think he is kind of rewriting his whole legacy. I thought he was probably a Hall of Famer even without a championship, but that certainly becomes on the board for most people. Then, the silliness, the softness, all these, lack of defense even. Not that he's going to be viewed as a great defender, but all of that is kind of being rewritten right now. And so.
Foul trouble, none of it?
Yeah, no foul trouble yesterday. Danny, where are you at now in the series? I still got the Spurs in 7. You had them in 5, but do you still feel confident?
I still think the Spurs are going to win. I am still picking them. They can win in New York. The Spurs can win in San Antonio. But obviously less confident.
Why do you think the Spurs are better?
Why do I think the Spurs are better?
Yeah.
I still think that going through the West and their defense and the playoff numbers, the recent numbers, the Knicks have been better than them, but the aggregate numbers say that the Spurs are the better team.
At some point, we're going to have to reconcile that 6 weeks of playoff basketball should weigh heavier than 6 months of regular season.
I don't think it's definitive. Obviously, statistically, the Knicks have been better, but the competition level is not even close. The Spurs have faced much better competition, so I think you can really argue the Spurs have been as good or better than the Knicks in the playoffs, just because they're playing better teams.
I understand. I see both sides of this. You've seen that graphic. Sorry, I should have had them pull it. That is is it point differential or total points? And the Knicks are way up here.
Yes.
That basically says the Knicks are, statistically, the best team of all time. But you're not willing to go there, so I think that's what Danny is saying.
No. So there is, I am not willing to say, obviously, the 2026 Knicks are the best team of all time.
But they are playing.
So there you go.
Okay.
I am willing to say
they're playing.
They are playing as well in these playoffs as any team has ever played in any playoffs.
So if this Knicks team, that's what you're saying. Take this Knicks team against anybody else in history. And they can compete.
No. What I am saying is, if you were to take any team's playoff run in history through up to this point, through the first game of the finals, and say grade it on a scale of 1 to 100. There is no team with a higher grade than these Knicks. I am not saying that. Do you get it? But
that doesn't.
But they're 100 out of 100.
It doesn't.
You're playing,
that doesn't. No,
they have to adjust for who they're playing.
Yeah.
That's fine. How about when they play the Spurs? All I'm talking about is
wildly impressive.
I am not trying to convince you that the Knicks would have won the 1986 NBA championship. I'm trying to convince you they're going to win the 2026 NBA championship. And all they've done in this playoff run is give us heaps of evidence that they're going to win this championship. And in the regular season, which you are leaning on, they beat the Spurs the last 2 times they played.
But the logical conclusion from what you're saying, based on what they've done this last month, you don't want to go there, and neither do I, but that they would be like the best team ever.
No, that's not.
Because if you're basing your whole argument for them being better than the Spurs on what they've done this last month, That's kind of saying the same
thing?
No,
I don't think it's saying the same thing. I think that it is fair to judge the Knicks being better than the Spurs based on how the Knicks and Spurs have both been playing in this year's NBA, in this year's playoffs, far more than it is judging the Knicks against the 98 Bulls. I think those are separate things.
Like I said, I think you can argue the Spurs have been as impressive as the Knicks. They beat the defending champs. They beat a Minnesota team that was better than.
So team hasn't lost since the.
So
NFL
that's
draft.
where I don't agree with that part, Brew. I think that the Spurs' path in the conference finals was dramatically harder. I don't think their path to the conference finals was dramatically harder. I don't think the Blazers are better than the
Portland
Hawks.
Is fine.
And I think that the injured Timberwolves versus the Sixers that we thought going into the series, oh man, this Sixers team looks scary, and then we immediately like, oh no, they aren't. I think the Timberwolves are a little better, but in a whole, a lot better, but I don't think it's super dramatic. I think in the conference finals, it is dramatic. And luckily for the Knicks, the results were dramatic too. One team needed a double overtime game 1 victory, and it went 7. The other team beat them, annihilated them throughout the series. So that I do think the Knicks have been much better than the Spurs these playoffs.
Yeah, and listen, I think that obviously the stats are with you. A lot of the eye test is with you. And it's preconceived biases, no doubt, of how high I had the Thunder. But like winning that game 1 and winning that game 7 in Oklahoma City, I'm like, that's really impressive for one of the youngest teams that keeps getting better as they go along. So I thought the Spurs were going to do this relatively easily. Now I'm more on Brew's side, where I feel like this is going to be a very long series. And by the way, I'm open to the possibility that I was wrong. I know it's a wild thing to admit, but it is possible.
Before we get to
wrong.
the Wemby thing, just very quickly, I find it just, and I'm not a Knicks fan. I think it is unfair to the Knicks that what you are saying is going to Oklahoma City and winning in double overtime was the Spurs doing that was so impressive. And then the Knicks going to San Antonio and going on an 11-0 run to win it, a Spurs team that definitively was better than the Thunder, is not as impressive. A lot of this is I think, just colored by the fact that deep down you still think the best team is Oklahoma City. And so the Spurs beat them, which means they must be better than the Knicks. That's what I think's happening here. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think that I do actually.
That is.
I do think. I do think a healthy Oklahoma City is the best team, but that's not how sports work.
One more thing. This is going to be a bit of a grenade in the. Just to
love it.
Just a bit of a grenade.
Pull the pen.
If the Knicks sweep the Spurs.
Yeah.
And they're all convincing, not close sweep.
Yeah.
And this little dot is even more.
It's the greatest playoff run of all time.
But are we ready to entertain that this is one of the greatest teams of all time?
No, because Brew and I have said repeatedly, the only way to become one of the greatest teams of all time is things you do the years after.
Oh, that's not.
I hate that.
If they did it next year,
if they continue.
No, but seriously,
no, but
if they do that and then next year they.
Is this single team? But the team's going to be different. You're going to Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, but that's not really how we've ever done it. But I would say it's the most dominant playoff run ever. Nobody's ever finished with 15 straight wins. The one team I put among the all-time greats is the 83 Sixers. Yeah. Dr. J. Moses was on. They had legends. That's the difference. I mean,
I think it's worthy of a conversation.
I love it.
I mean, if they look, you can't poo-poo it if they do that.
No,
that's right.
If they do that,
first to market
it's on the table.
The Knicks might be the best team of all time. They might be.
You're on that court.
It's got to be on the board.
You're on that court.
What does that mean for Jalen Brunson?
Yeah.
Who's he? I'm not saying
hey, break out your Michael Jordan stats again, but replace Shea and Troy. All right, other side of the ball. Weird game from Wembanyama, an inefficient 26 points. Missed 15 shots, 2 went off the side of the backboard. Not officially the side, according to Dusty. 1 was off the top. Here he was post-game.
Don't want to be there either.
It's the same. Every team guards differently, I'm going to figure it out. It's I was bad tonight. It's not more complicated than that. When I pick bad, it's when we shoot ourselves in the foot. It's this is why I'm not worried. It's we're gonna be so much better. I'm gonna be so much better.
Very confident. Was Wemby the reason the Spurs lost in your mind?
It was a big part of it. I always find it a little weird for someone like me to say anything about these athletes on this level, because he just looked tired. He looked tired. And the number of three-point attempts feels like he settles when he takes that number of three-point attempts. It directly correlates with the number of misses to their losses. And the 7'5" guy feels like he should at least touch the paint, whether it's with the ball in his hand or not, more trips down the floor than he does. And there were a lot of turnovers, and the dribbling was sloppy, and it was just it was a weird 26-12-3.
Yeah, it wasn't
right.
That's misleading.
It's super misleading. And then, and I know I took a ton of flack from you guys, which is becoming a theme with my basketball takes, and it's okay. And I'm taking a ton of flack online for the top 10 players going into this series. But I do not understand how you watch that game if you're Mitch Johnson and not think that Dylan Harper is one of your 5 best. And I do not. I think
those last 4 minutes.
I think he is right now better than De'Aaron Fox. And I know Fox was amazing in their closeout game.
But when Fox doesn't play, they don't have a ball handler.
The thing is,
put the ball in Dylan Harper's hands.
But the point is, it didn't have to be for Fox.
It could have been.
You could have left Vassell on the bench.
Champagny.
I mean, he's been hot. He wasn't
not in the second half. Yeah,
right.
You could have gone for Champagny.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You can keep Fox on the floor.
So I know you said, like we were talking about it the other day. It was if he was one of their 5 best, he would play more minutes. He would start.
No, not 5. Second best.
Yeah,
because you had him as second best. Yeah, but he's definitely one of the 5 best.
Well, he was 6th in minutes, and he wasn't. He wasn't in their closeout lineup, and I don't get it because he is so versatile and so strong and so poised, and their shot selection down the stretch was so bad. I know it's like antithetical to how we think about it. Like rookie guard needs to be in to close out these games, but I think Dylan Harper needs to be in the game.
Listen. I'm not saying Dylan Harper doesn't need to be in the game, but I think Mitch Johnson is catching unfair flack on it. If you actually remember the sequence of events, you said he went out with 4 minutes. Well, over the next 2 minutes, the Spurs continued a 10-0 run.
Right.
And at the 2-minute mark, the Spurs took a 1-point lead. There was no dead ball, and you wouldn't change anything because you had just gone on a 10-0 run. It was then the missed 3, offensive rebound, Brunson 3, with 90 seconds left. At that moment, you could have called timeout, put him back in the game. They didn't. De'Aaron Fox then got a wide-open 9-footer.
Missed it.
And he missed it. After he missed it, then the next play down the court is when they fouled Mikal Bridges. Again, you could have subbed him in there, but we're really talking about like 2 possessions and then the Wemby had the mistake and the game's essentially over. Mitch Johnson didn't call timeouts, which was very odd to me, after the Brunson 3 or after the Mikal Bridges foul. But the story is Wemby. The story is not that the 20-year-old rookie should have played, instead of 29 minutes, we want him to play 31 minutes. The story was that Karl-Anthony Towns more than credibly guarded Wemby, and Wemby repeatedly settled, and then at the very end of the game, down 4 with a minute left, dribbled the ball off his foot. And again, I try to be very fair. The comp we use, both of us, Brew, or a lot of people, was LeBron, the 07-48 special after his game 1. LeBron in those finals looked lost for large portions of it. I think he's the greatest player of all time. He's the second greatest player of all time. It is not a statement on where his career is going to go, but it is fair to say whether it was exhaustion, whether he's faking that the moment wasn't too big. I don't think it's that at all. I think he's highly confident. Or whether it was just the Knicks have his number for one reason or another. He didn't hold up his end of the superstar best player in the world bargain and didn't come close to it.
Right. There's no denying that. I have a hard time saying he's the biggest reason they lost. If you just say, look, he didn't give us what he normally does, okay, but obviously they're not even close to winning if he's not in there. So I have a hard time saying he's the biggest reason they lost. But like I said earlier, I don't know if I can say Karl-Anthony Towns outplayed him. But Karl-Anthony Towns did his job way better than Wemby did his job. So he didn't do his job.
Last word, Brew, before Frenemies, fresh episode of Frenemies coming up. We'll do more of it tomorrow, but what's Wemby's stat line in game 2?
I think he's going to come out with a huge game because he's kind of that's been the pattern. And I don't get it, Nick, how one day he can look out of energy and with 1 day rest, the next game look totally different. But that's what I expect. That's what has to happen. Danny, if they lose, I would not predict the sweep, but if they lose tomorrow, it's on the table. It is absolutely on the table.
I mean, you said I could use the tuxedo for gentleman sweep for the Spurs. What if it goes the other way?
Then I get it. Then I get it. All right. And I'm wearing that purple one I wore to the Emmys.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Tough.
Get a win.
Yeah.
All right, coming up next, a special edition of Frenemies about the finals.
Yeah, we're going to talk more hoop. Happy Frenemies Thursday to all who celebrate. Let's talk about the finals. Seems like the right thing to do. 18-12 with 4 assists for Karl-Anthony Towns, but it was a lot more than that. Mike Brown on Cat's performance last night in the win. Take a listen.
He was amazing. I mean, the double-double was huge. He came up with some timely buckets for us. He's a problem. You put a small guy on him, he's got a chance to offensive rebound. You put a big guy on him, he's got a chance to pick and pop and go around guys. So we got to just keep trying to move him around based on who's guarding him throughout the course of the ball game. But he was huge for us with his double-double.
It's an understatement. He was spectacular. Did you consider him the key to the upset?
Well, listen, Jalen Brunson being the most clutch player in the league in 13 fourth-quarter points out of nowhere. I think he was 7 of 22 going into the fourth, and then 5 of 9 for 13 points. No turnovers after 4 turnovers first 3 quarters was a huge part of it. But Cat's defense on Wemby was stunning. And the fact that they had Cat guarding Wemby and not OG was also surprising. But I just thought this was just a perfect Knicks win because in sequence, all 5 starters did their thing. When they were down 13, Cat kept him in it and got it to 6 with a couple offensive rebounds and ones. OG hit the huge corner 3 when they were finally trying to take control of the game. Obviously, Brunson hit the huge 3 to retake the lead. Josh Hart, his rebounding and his decision not to rush the action when they were up 4 with a minute left. And Mikal Bridges, the little things and the 2 key free throws, that's all 5 starters. And that's why, in my opinion, this is right now the best team in basketball. And I would have felt very strongly that they would have been in this position no matter who won the Western Conference Finals, because all 5 guys are healthy, accepting of their role, and totally locked in. And you saw that on Cat's end from the very beginning in the mic'd up on the broadcast when he said, we got to be great on defense, the offense will come. So I think he was one of the keys in what was an ultimate team effort.
But if I'm singling something out, it is Karl-Anthony Towns. That was the Karl-Anthony Towns game. It was arguably a signature game in his career. I got some numbers for a couple of things that you alluded to. But then I want to get to more of like the soul of the thing. So the run that he went on, or when the Knicks were down, that's clutch. Like, he was amazing. Final 6:10 of the third quarter, Karl-Anthony Towns keys it. The Knicks are trailing by 14 at that point. He is just relevant and good across the board. And then I would posit that this is maybe the most surprising graphic that's ever been put up, and I know you guys put up one very similar, if not the exact same, in regulation. The fact that Karl-Anthony Towns, much maligned for his entire career defensively, could do this to Victor Wembanyama when he was guarding Wemby. As big of a Knicks guy as you have become in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Did you ever?
I like teams that blow other teams out and never lose.
Okay, fine. Little shot notwithstanding. Did you ever think this was possible? Karl-Anthony Towns, man, this is a guy who has been traded for Julius Randle in a trade that was pretty widely mocked for both teams, just exchanging, your junk for my junk. Jimmy Butler calling him out in a practice and punking him and saying, give me all of the backups and I will beat all of the starters because this guy doesn't have any heart. Us mocking him for saying he was the best big man shooter of all time. And now all of a sudden in game 1 of the NBA Finals on the road, he's locking down Victor Wembanyama, who basically everyone agrees is the best player in the sport. You wake up and it's like, oh, maybe Karl-Anthony Towns, I know this is sacrilegious in New York, maybe Karl-Anthony Towns is the most important Knick. That was a mind-boggling performance, man. I was so impressed.
Well, listen, I don't think he's the most important Knick. I think he might have been last night.
I don't know. He's a talented dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's been excellent. He's not. Jalen Brunson is making a case he's the best player in the whole league. I don't think he is. He's making the case right now. Towns being able to move his feet and stay out of foul trouble was surprising. But some of that graphic was what Towns did, and some of that graphic was what Wemby did to himself. Wemby settled. Wemby, for the last few weeks, if his three isn't falling, aside from game one against the Thunder, he doesn't have these massive offensive games. And Wemby was out of sorts. And I give massive credit to Towns, but I also give credit to Mike Brown for throwing a bit of a curveball at us and not having OG guard him, and Towns for not only accepting the challenge, but accepting the challenge without fouling. But this is and I know we're saying that some guys, Wemby's numbers are misleading in one direction. Towns giving you 18 and 12 is right about the average Karl-Anthony Towns game. For the season, what do you average? 19-11 or 20-11? That part is not shocking at all.
But getting past Wemby, being aggressive early, and defense is a part of the game, man. And again, this is my own preconceived bias. I thought this team was flawed because their two best players, Brunson and Towns, were both defensive liabilities.
I know, but that
and Towns has not been a defensive liability for months.
No, that's what exactly.
And
Brunson clearly hasn't been either.
But even with that, I did not think that Karl-Anthony Towns would not be a defensive liability against Victor Wembanyama. And you can act like you're not surprised by it. It was a shocking thing that he won the matchup with the best player in the world.
There is no doubt Wemby going 2 for 11 when guarded by Towns is shocking. But it is. I sat here yesterday and said I thought the Knicks were going to win.
Yep.
That was not because I thought Wemby was going to score 35. And this maybe is better part of the next conversation. I don't think we are getting a bunch more classic Wemby games coming up. I don't think Wemby has enough left in the tank for that.
Well, let's get there then, because the Knicks were not huge underdogs. It was moving in their direction. But after last night, they are now a favorite to win the NBA championship. Spurs, they were a 4.5-point favorite for game 1, 5.5-point favorite in a must-win game 2. How worried should the Spurs be?
Terribly worried. Because Wemby has not been the same player since the double overtime game. And I put some of this on. I don't really blame anyone. The Spurs didn't expect to be playing into June. They have to be cautious because Wemby's 7'5". He's coming off blood clots. I get all of it. But he's not equipped yet to play 40-plus minutes, and it's what they need. And we can't even put last night just on the 10 minutes Wemby sat.
No.
Because in the 38 minutes he played, they were outscored. And my working theory, because Wemby is nonplussed. He seems incredibly confident. So my working theory is the reason Wemby was so emotional after the Western Conference Finals Game 7 was because he believed that was the championship. I do not.
Like I believed.
Correct.
Me and Wemby.
He thought what you thought, what Vegas thought, what a lot of the American public thought. So I don't buy that Wemby was overcome with emotion because he made the finals. He doesn't seem like a guy that's super interested in making the finals. I think he was overcome with emotion because internally he felt like, oh my God, we're going to win the championship. And I don't think he recognizes the fight that he's in for. And I think he, much like you, still think the Knicks, wow, that's a good team running hot, rather than a great team that is played 5 weeks of close to flawless basketball, which is what they've done. So I'd be really worried.
I get it. I'm staggered. Like a boxer who was favored, who got knocked out in the first round, like knocked to the mat, and like, what happened? I am shocked by that result last night. I'm shocked by the comeback. I don't think that the celebration indicates everything that you think that it indicates. They were up 14 in the third quarter. Like I don't think that they came into the game overlooking the Knicks. The Knicks outplayed them down the stretch. The physical side of it, though, I think is very apparent. Like I do think that Wemby is wearing down, and to what Brew's been talking about, he seems to have this ability to bounce back, and they're a very young team. I think the Spurs will try to follow Wemby's lead and be like, we're okay. We've been down before. We won a Game 7 on the road. We can do this. And if they shoot better than, 25% from three, if they shoot 35% from three, they win that game. So I think that there's reasonable places where they can say, we make 4 more shots. And
the
they
Knicks
end up
didn't
winning.
shoot well.
No, I know. But just the idea of, the Spurs teams always believe that they will play better, and the things that they held the other team to is going to stay the same. So I buy that the Spurs are not panicking. I don't think that's some sort of act from Wemby.
No, I buy they're not panicking as well, and I think it's silly. Here's the question I have for you, who still believes in the Spurs and thinks the NBA title happened a few days ago in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
Where are their advantages? Tell me.
Defensively?
I don't know that they're a better defensive team than the Knicks have been playing. But I mean matchup for matchup. How many points do you think, if I said Wemby's going to average the rest of the series 29 points, do you think that's a fair,
Sure.
You don't think he's going to average 35 a game?
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Okay.
Sure.
Can Brunson, do you think, average the same?
Of course.
Okay. So if Brunson and Wemby's offensive production cancels each other out, and I understand Wemby has this great defensive production, but it'll show up in these other guys' stats. When we go down the rosters, where else are the Spurs' advantages? Tell me.
I'll answer your question, but I also, the odds say that they are a minus what? 130?
Yeah, I think the odds have been wrong.
Okay, but you think it's a ridiculous notion that the Spurs can win?
No.
Well, that's how.
I picked the Knicks in 6. You can't turn it to all of a sudden. I think the Knicks are better.
It's not a crazy thing to defend or pick the Spurs with the best player.
That's fine, but we're 24 hours away from you believing this was going to be a walkover. And I am now asking you, where do you think the Spurs have advantages? That's what I want to know. What matchups, what players? Because I don't see it.
Is Wemby not a huge advantage?
I don't think Wemby is going to be more impactful in this series than Brunson. I
do, and we will see what Jalen Brunson shooting, what was it? 12 of 31. Like I showed you guys yesterday in Packed Stats with Castle and what he did on SGA with Wemby backing him up. Let's see how efficient Brunson is going forward. 12 of 31 is not
only good enough to win by 10.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's only good enough to go on the road and win by 10.
When the Spurs shoot 25% from three.
Okay. The Knicks are going to be up 3-1 in this series. And that's when folks will be like, you know what? Maybe they're good.
They're good.
Maybe
that is such a straw man. That is such a straw man. Thanks for hanging out on the OT. Greg Jennings hanging out. Let's go to Green Bay. You know something about that. Micah Parsons spoke with the media to give an update on his injury rehab, and we just passed the 5-month mark from his ACL surgery back in December. Here he's talking about the Packers' 9-month ACL rule and why it's better for both him and the team in the long run. Greg, take a listen.
The goal has always just been, not right now, but longevity with my career here, and I think they want that approach. And we have a pretty strong 9-month rule, so it's just all about just through the research and the data. There's no good outcomes with players coming back early from ACL, especially if you add in all the other things that get fixed up. We got a tough game, tough schedule this year, and I think for the betterment of everyone wants me at 100 and wants me in those games so we can make this championship run.
All right, so he certainly seems on board. We put together the Packers schedule through the first 8 weeks. He's not expected to miss all 8 weeks, but let's say he misses at least 4. Greg, we could be talking about a return for Packers-Bears, Packers-Cowboys. It's obviously a very tough division, which I know will factor into this conversation, but how worried should Packers fans be given that we now know officially Micah will be missing a significant amount of time?
Well, obviously there's going to be a level of concern. However, I will say this. It's better to know who's going to be available and who's not going to be available when the season starts. You prepare to not have them versus losing somebody, and you have to react.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
And so you got a new defensive coordinator in Jonathan Gannon. He understands that. He's preparing to not have Michael for a period of time, whatever that may be. You mentioned Micah being on board. That's the biggest piece of this, because sometimes players you have to temper the expectation of not only the fans, but the player as well, because you want to get back. You want to hurry up and get back, not just because you're rushing, but because you want to get back on the field. You're just chomping at the bit to get back out there. But Micah has a long road ahead of him still. He talked about his relationship with Nate Weir, someone who I know, head trainer there now. He and Brian Engel, they do a tremendous job. So I'm not concerned. However, you are mindful that you don't have Micah. So every game, and I think we have their schedule, but we showed it. Those first 8 weeks, but those first 4 games, when you're talking about the Vikings, the Jets, Atlanta, Tampa, those are games that you feel strongly about and strong enough to where
it's a pretty good pocket of the schedule.
Yes, and you got the Vikings week 1. Anything can happen week 1. We know that. So you feel strongly about not having Micah right away.
So I think it's worth, just we've been so far removed from football season, to remind people of what happened when Micah went out. Because when Micah was there, it looked like everything was great. And that's because it was, right? Weeks 1 through 14, they were pretty dominant. They're allowing less than 20 points per game. And week 15 on, he gets injured in the third quarter of that week 15 game. They start giving up 29 points per game. So part of that's opponents, all that I understand. But obviously there was a line of demarcation there. Then to your point, if we put up their schedule, this is maybe the silver lining. Those first 4 games, the offenses that they were playing, not great compared to last year.
Yeah.
So, you had it right, Christina, with the Vikings, the Jets, the Falcons, and the Bucs. I had the rankings there. Not great. But then you start getting to Bears, Cowboys, Lions. Those are all top 10 offenses.
Yeah.
So the first 4 games, you're going to be like, all right, Jordan Love, you might have to win some shootouts here, and you hope that you get Micah back when you play the better offenses. But what I would say is NFC North's the best division in football. All it takes is one game.
Absolutely.
Like the Falcons to get you, the Falcons to put up 30 in a game when Mike isn't there. And then that's the difference between being the 2 seed and the 5 or the 6 seed. And so even though they should be able to survive it on paper, and he's talking about a Super Bowl run and you can be a wild card and make it, Micah missing 4 to 6 weeks at the beginning of the year, if you're trying to get a bye, win the NFC North, it's a massive deal.
It really is. And when you look at the back end of their schedule, which we didn't put up there.
We got the full thing.
You got New England, the Bills, obviously the Bears again, the Lions again. There's the schedule. Like the Rams. Like you have a tough stretch on the back end.
No reason to think he's not back for all that.
And so this is why he's talking the way that he's talking. The organization is communicating the way that they're communicating. Micah, we're going to hold this thing as long as possible. We're going to get you to as close as 100% healthy as we possibly can, and to where you have been on the field actively participating before we just throw you out there. And you got to remember, offensively, Tucker Kraft is coming off of an ACL injury.
It feels to me like Micah should come back maybe week 6 against Dallas. Missed that first Bears-Packer game. Seems like it'd be the prudent thing to do.
We would love that.
Let's talk A.J. Brown and his new home in New England. A lot of the narrative last year, wasn't getting enough targets. We know that. Drake May, speaking at OTAs, he's like, don't worry. I know what number you are. I'm going to feed you the rock. Take a listen.
Welcome to New England.
Good, you want anything else?
No, it should be some fun. So I just out there today, all right? It should be fun, man. We'll have some lots of fun. Whatever you want, let's just say. You let me know what you want. I'm here to give it a rock.
This is just going to work.
Yes.
Right, man, right. Like there's just no way this doesn't work. I don't know if it works for 3 years, but there's no way they might not win the Super Bowl, but like fantasy football, stats, targets, I see no way this doesn't work.
Yeah, I just remember Stephon Diggs talking about Drake May and his maturation and just the way he carries himself and some of the things that he was saying. And now you listen to that little soundbite, and it may not seem like a lot, but when you have a receiver who was in a situation that he was in last season, obviously disgruntled, not really feeling, whether it was Jalen, the play call, the play design, how they were going to include him in what the scheme was and how we were going to approach every week on a week-to-week basis, that all matters. And when you have your quarterback making a statement like that, day one you're out there, it just get me off to the right start, and that was the right start.
There will be turbulence at some point. There'll be something that is going to be
smooth sailing.
But I have the skill set just really matches. It really matches.
They push the ball down the field. He wants to go down the field. He throws in. He can throw you back shoulder. He can throw you open.
To the middle of the fields.
All the things that A.J. Brown exceeds in and does really well, Drake May compliments him.
Yeah, and listen, the TV take is like, well, this is the honeymoon phase and something's going to...
And it is. All true.
All true. But the football fit, and I know Diggs had a great statistical season last year, but it does feel like they are going to be a better team with a worse record. Like going from what they had last year at the pass catchers to now having A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs and another year of Drake May with Josh McDaniels feels like they could be a pretty special offense going forward. All right, I got to get Greg's opinion on something that happened in the hoops last night because this fan made a bit of a clown of himself. But Greg used to hang out with fans all the time. So you say maybe this is a false comparison. We'll do it coming up on the OT. Welcome back. So in last night's game one, Brunson drops 30. Wemby turns the ball over 6 times, and a fan storms the court, Greg, for a selfie. You got to do it for the likes, you know? Got to do it for the gram. Got a lifetime ban for his trouble. Greg, you used to interact with fans by jumping into the crowd at Lambeau Field. I would posit, here you go. Do you use your hands to, oh no, you got there in clear vertical leap. Good job by you. You're an athlete. Yeah, no problem. You have to push up on the wall.
Not like your
buddy. Yeah, my buddy. Yeah, I was showing you videos of failed white guy Lambeau leaps, if I'm just being honest. But do you think this fan got off easy? Lifetime ban. I was shocked he didn't get knocked out.
So, he's a kid, and I think that's one of the reasons why I don't think
they were gentle.
Yeah, they're not as aggressive as we typically see them, specifically like in football games. But look, a lifetime ban, dude. As a parent, I'm like, I would never want my kid to do this. As a kid, you take that because you're not thinking down the road and you don't even care. Even with the lifetime ban right now, he's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But eventually he will care, it will matter, and he will wish he had never done it.
The footage from the cell phone that I don't know if it was ever verified or not, but of just like him taking the selfie and yeah, right here. And he's like, doesn't even get Wemby's body into it.
I know. He's probably upset.
You did it all just to get his torso.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I forgot he was tall.
Yeah.